What's up, guys? It's Marcus with Metaphos here, and I'm bringing you a 2014 Nationals format Mermail deck profile. This is actually my Time Wizard format of choice when it comes to Time Wizards in terms of my personal favorite. And I do think eventually it'll get more popular, but at the moment it's like Edison's just the main one to go with, and the one I'm definitely most invested in. But I thought I would diversify a little bit and show some 2014, maybe end up showing some GOAT format stuff that I like. So without further ado, let's just get into the deck. We have the one Megalo, just boss monster. It's the extender you can search off of your Dragoons, and it also searches the trap card, so just good utility, but you don't really want to open it often. On the one lead, it's just the best one to float into with Lind. And then it's on field effect to make your opponent discard by attributing a face-up attack position Mermail monster, also comes up sometimes. Then we got the 3 Abyss Teus. He's definitely the bread and butter. He's a combo starter. He only discards 1 to special itself and then immediately replaces a card by searching level 4 lower Mermail. Yeah, it being a level 7, having a 2400 defense in a format with hands is just really good. Not a whole lot else to say there. We got the triple Pike. He searches for a level 3 water monster by discarding a water. So that gets you to your Undine, it gets you to Lind, it gets you to Gund, gets you to Marksman. Just a lot of utility for different engines in the deck, and just different cards you'd like to see. And it being a level 4 is also important when you come to see the extra deck. We have 2 Lind. You play enough normal summons where you don't want to play 3 of these, but you need to play at least 2 because you do play the Abyss Spheres. And yeah, it just is kind of an in-between to get to better cards. Then you play the 1 Gun because it's limited to 1. This card's crazy. It just revives a Mermail when it is discarded. 2 Infantry to pop face-up cards. A lot of cool Mermail tricks where you make your opponent's cards miss timing. And then it's also 2 Marksman. Same thing, really, Geargia is really prominent in this format, and Marksman's a really good card versus it. Is one of the biggest reasons I play 2. And then the 1 Dragoons, also limited, but Dragoons is definitely something that connects a lot of engines in this deck because it searches any Sea Serpent when it's sent to grave for a water monster's effect. The 1 Title, you play a lot of level 7s, it being a recurring level 7's really good and it helps apply pressure. Its discard effect also comes up sometimes where you'll discard it with a Gund to trigger Gun's effect, or you know, it with an Atlantean. So it's got some utility there as well. And then we also play the 1 Mullen Glacia, since you do load your graveyard quite easily, and because of the pace of hat formats, you don't have to see this card turn 1. It's also a Sea Serpent, so you can search it off Dragoons. Definitely deserves a spot in this list. And then we play the 3 Genix Undine. It basically is a +2 when you summon it because you're adding a Genix controller to hand, which we play 2 of as well. So you add the Genix controller to hand, but then you're also sending a Dragoons or a Marksman or Infantry, so you're either popping a card or adding an additional card to hand because Dragoons, and then you're adding controller. And controller is a couple of good things about it in this list. Not only is it a tuner, but we also play the 1 Allure of Darkness because Pike gets to Undine and Teus gets to Pike. So you basically have 9 ways, whether it's Undine or drawing the Undine or getting to search the Undine at some point, as well as the 2 controllers itself. So Allure is normally live, even if not turn 1, by turn 2 or 3. So yeah, good way to turn these on, as well as it being a tuner and a level 3 are both important. Then we have 3 Upstart Goblin. In a combo deck, it's almost no-brainer to play this card, especially in this format where you don't really have to outright kill your opponent. You're just trying to maximize loading your grave with waters and seeing Soul Charge, which is another 3 of that we play. One of the biggest complaints people have about hat format is they think it's like some combo crazy format because 3 Soul Charge. However, most decks play like 9 to 15 traps, and it's very rare when games are decided on turn 1 or 2. It's only decks that really happens with, or like Infernity and sometimes Sylvan, if they just go off, but there's so much side hate for those decks. But yeah, Soul Charge is crazy in this deck, allows you to end with rank 7 and rank 4s on your end board oftentimes. Definitely very, very important combo strategies. We play 3s, 4s, and 7s, as well as tuners, so Mind Control is really good in this list. And then the 1 Dark Hole, also limited. For traps, we play the 3 Abyss Sphere. Abyss Sphere gets you to your Lind, which floats into basically anything else. Sometimes it can also be used as an interruption trap, similar to Raigeki Break, by summoning a pike, and even though the pike will be negated, you can discard an infantry or a marksman to pop a card on the field, so it definitely has utility there. And then we play a couple of utility 1-up traps, 1 breakthrough skill. Just, it's super important to like negate, have it engrave or on field to negate artifact monsters on your turn, so it's pretty good. 1 warning, it's just, yeah, it's soul warning. 1 torrential, 1 compulse, and 1 bottomless, just utility traps. Trap cards are really, really good in hat format, so I like all these pretty much across the boards and matchups, and cards like compulse can also be used defensively on your own cards as well. That's it for the main deck, 40 cards. We'll go on to the extra deck. Play 1 Levianeer. You have Tidal, which is banishing cards, so there's a lot of utility with Levianeer to like revive level 4, level 3 monsters oftentimes. Like reviving a Lind is really good with this, for example. This comes up a lot in Soul Charge plays, as well as it's really good against the hands. 1 Alucard, which is the last, or not the last rank 3. It's the last rank 3 you'll naturally make, and it's just really good into back rows sometimes, or against like decks that set monsters like Girgia. And the last rank 3, you're not going to make this hard almost really ever, but it's because we play Bahamut Shark, which summons it, and it just allows you to float into Mermails. It's really oppressive actually to get this down on the board, where you summon 2 of these in defense against hat deck or hand decks. So yeah, really like that. And Bahamut Shark being a water monster allows you to trigger Dragoons. Then we also play 1 Honor Arc, also a water, same thing with Dweller. Dweller's really good in this because it boosts all your water monsters as well. And then for other utility rank 4s, we have this, which Daigusto Emerald can actually come up to revive Undine or shuffle back 3, so that's unique. And then Exciton, just really good when you're behind. And yeah, it's basically played in anything that makes rank 4s. And then for the rank 7s, we have 1 Gaios. It's very oppressive versus a lot of decks. Definitely necessary in this list, but even more necessary is Dracosac and Big Eye, probably the most made rank 7s from 2013 onwards. Both come up a ton when you play this deck. Not only because you play a bunch of 7s in your deck, but you also play some Synchro 7s that you make with Undine and a Pike. So the first one's Gungnir. You discard up to 2 waters, destroy that many cards on the field, but then the waters you discard can also get abilities like the Atlanteans, and or even discarding a title's good, or like a Gund. So, and then 1 Black Rose, yeah, comes up often enough. And then one of the most oppressive ones in the extra deck is actually the Leo. A lot of decks don't have an answer to this because they have to pop things or target in the battle phase, like with the hands, or in the main phase, like when it's being summoned and stuff. So not a lot of things main phase 2 are clearing this, so it's very oppressive versus a lot of decks, very necessary. And then for the side deck, this is ever changing, but with the people I've been testing with, and just from how I used to play the format, because I'm not as up to date with the online meta, but the side deck that I currently run is 2 and 2 of the hands. This being a water is relevant, but also just being able to out floodgate monsters and spells and traps is enough reason to run these, and a lot of times your opponent won't play around them and assume you're setting a Lind when you set one of these, so yeah, very good. 2 Crow, it's good against artifacts, very good against Infernity. We very much respect Infernity in this deck because it's kind of what wipes it out of the format, is if you respect it, otherwise it's one of the best decks. So we also have 3 Max C, which is good versus a plethora decks like Madolche, Infernity, Sylvans, stuff like that, Mermail even, Dragons, yeah. And then these are good versus Infernity, Madolche, the Flying Seas, as well as a few other decks. But yeah, just it just shuts off XYZing, and a lot of decks can't synchro. So yeah, really good there. And the rest of what we play is just back row removal, because you don't play a whole lot in the main, and there's a lot of matchups you want it for. So that's triple MST, and the one tech is Malevolent Catastrophe, because most people will not play around it. If I went to a tournament, I think it's a good call to play. But yeah, this is my Mermail deck for the 2014 Nationals format, last format where you draw starting your turn. Honestly, one of my favorite formats of Yu-Gi-Oh to play, and I will probably get some gameplay on the channel here soon. If people are interested, let me know what other 2014 decks you guys want to see, because I do have like 15 of them or something. With that said, Marcus, out.